Hello, everybody. Hello.
Hey, Pearl, how are you today? Hey, and here's Minnie. Look at the pretty flowers I just planted. What? Oh, you're right. I almost forgot. Another day of soul care.
Well, you know me. There I am. Oh, there I am. Hi. Hi, everybody. This is James from Prague, and welcome to Soul Care. I think Mercury is leaving retrograde, I think, today. So it was the last part of this. So, hello, Laura and Barbara, Alicia, Michelle, Annie from Quebec. Welcome from Quebec. I just was watching a television show about Quebec. Spiritual Seeker. Things happen for a reason always, don't you think? Ellen, hello. Elijah, Lisa Watt, hello. Catherine, Millen, Jeffrey Anderson, Dolce, nice to see you. Deborah. So people are getting noticed that Soul Care is going on. And well, everyone's coming in. Hello. Kelsey, hello. Jane from Kalamazoo. I just took 5 minutes out of my filming. I'm filming actually my next course. I mentioned it to you guys earlier. If those are new here, I will let you know. Hello. If I keep it popping on, I love it. Carolyn, Cheryl, sunny Oregon coast. It's sunny. Wow, isn't that some? We haven't seen the sun in a long time in California. Hello from Perth. Hello there. Nice to see you there, Erica. Good morning, Cheryl. Yeah, we've been doing. I'm doing a meditation course, an in-depth meditation course. Today's the first day of filming. So right in front of me here is a set, which I was just doing the first introduction of the course, and I'm still getting my rhythm, so it'll might take a couple of days. But we just started and took a break, so I took a picture of the set for you all. That's the set behind me. It's a green screen I'm sitting in front of. A lot of focus. But it's raining here in California, so we have to come up with an idea so the green screen will help. And but the course will be out sometime this year, probably could be in May or maybe April or May. But it's going to be very in depth. This meditation course I'm working on. There are 8 lessons, and they're very intense. And I've talked earlier about sitting the silence, sitting the quiet of your beings, and that stillness. So it's a big part of also in the meditation about I guide you through that and the barriers why people can't sit in the stillness, why I don't want to, so I go off that. It's gonna be a great course. You'll love it. So I've been doing that. I took a break to talk to y'all. My eyes are blue. Thank you. Yeah, they're very blue with a blue shirt. I think. Yeah. Thank you. You got to use that, I guess, more of a solid color when you're in a green screen. Cape Cod is snowing. Well, my haircut looks good. Thank you. It took me forever to get a haircut because my doggy Pearl had to go to doggy parks and then had to clean her because she jumps in muddy piles of who knows what. So that was interesting. The past one was here last week. It's been so rainy. Hi from Colorado. Exciting, Laura. Woohoo! Michelle, you're a huge fan of practicing evidential mediumship. I'm here to learn all I can. Thank you for all the amazing things. Good, Michelle. Take some courses that I wrote in my school, please. They're very in-depth courses, probably the most in-depth courses I know of that are around the internet. But you got to develop and develop properly. It's the most important thing in mediumship is developing the proper way. Have a strong foundation because it'll help you later on. It really will. Snowing Island of Man. Wow. I have relatives in the Isle of Man. If you look at Van Pragues, they're there, and they're cousins, distant cousins, I assume. The dates in the Sedona workshop in March. I'm not sure the date. I'm going to start at the end of this week when the Sedona workshop is going to be. I have 2 other friends of mine here. They're filming also their next documentary on horses and humans, and they're staying at my house and they're out filming, and they're from Sedona. So I'm going to talk to them about the dates. And the other night I spoke to a lady from Sedona who I met when I was there in Walker. We spoke for an hour and a half, and it was just great, just all different things and about who I can call to coordinate the workshop. So I'll let you guys know when that's going to happen. And I'm in Florida as well. I'm going to be in Florida in April. I'll be at the Parker Playhouse in Fort Lauderdale. That'll be in April. Not so many personal gigs this year, but that one definitely, and this Sedona one. And of course, the Alaskan cruise is, I talked about that last time. If you're new to this today, in August, please come celebrate my 65th birthday. I didn't realize that I turned 65 on that week, during that week. It's from the 18th of August to the 29th, I believe, and my birthday is 23rd. So I'm going to celebrate my birthday in Alaska, and it's a Alaskan cruise, celebrity cruises. I've done it before; it's my 4th time. And if you have never done that cruise. It's a safe, lovely, beautiful experience. You see the northern lights, and you go to these wonderful enclaves. You see the glaciers. Dog sleighing is there. It's just incredible. You meet lovely people. It's nature oriented. It's just so nice. And we're going to be doing a workshop, and it's called Walking into the Side of the Spirit, Walking to the Spirit World. And it's going to really be, I'm going to present a space, a creative space with you, where we work directly with the spirit world. And in a way, the human world goes to the side and we're working with spirit. And through exercises and meditations and mind journeys, bringing you to different levels of awareness, consciousness, and being aware of the spaces around you, who's in the spaces around you. When you touch with loved ones, what are they doing on the other side? What's the soul plan? Things that they can tell us that we'd understand on this level. What do they have to say that would open us up in different ways? So it's going to be a great, insightful cruise. I'm with Kelly White, who's my friend, my medium friend, who I do both sides down beyond, who's here. Hello, Kelly. And she'll be there as well. Kelly told us last week this story that happened to her on the Alaska cruise we did last time, about 4, 5, 6 years ago. Her stepmother was on the cruise. She said, I need to go, because she'd lost her husband. And Kelly said, yeah, come on the cruise, you should go. So they came, and I was starting an event. I started the workshop at about 9:30, and it was about 9:45, and they weren't there yet. They got there at 10:10, and there were only 2 seats left in different sides of the room. So they took them, and I had people partner up, so they didn't know the person next to them. It ended up with this exercise that her stepmother and the lady that she was working with both had lost their husband. They didn't know this. Both had lost the husband, the same name, and they played in the same band from the same conductor. So and the same birthday as well. So weird. So Spirit orchestrates these gatherings, and if you feel pulled to do this, please do it, because it'll be an incredible experience. So that's the Alaska cruise, and you can find the information at my website, vanprague.com, and it's a big picture of a glacier, and it's all the details there as far as, and pricing it's very, very reasonable, and you should book early, because later the rooms might not be available. So it's a good one. So that's what I'm going to tell you about that. What else is it? Oh, I'm also working with the life coaching course right now. I was registering right now. It's a wonderful course about life tools for living life, the life certification courses. All my certification courses are pretty intense. They will help you whether you're just beginning in this journey or you're on this journey for a long while. There'll be some insights and exercises and perspectives that would might change your way of doing things, making choices in life, and how you interact with people, and what your own life is about. So check out the certification life coaching course. We're registering people right now. Okay, so there we go. And a question you would like to ask, like general questions that might help everybody. If you'd like to ask me now, please feel free to. There we go. So hi, Susie. Nice to see you, Susie. James, really struggling with the earth energy recently. Yes, I don't want to go out anywhere, going inward a lot. Yes, that's what COVID did. Remember, we first started SoulCARE with that. And Brian, you can keep that up a little bit longer so I can see that question a little longer, please. Yeah, and glad to be here. We'll always. I really want to join you on your cruise. A lot of people travel alone. A lot of people travel alone, sweetheart, and we put people together. And that in my cruise, the 24 cruises, we put people together in certain cabins, and it's amazing, because they become great friends, lifetime friends. So it works out really well. And you're not in your cabin a lot, by the way. You're usually at the workshops, or you're out in the ports. So but you become good friends. And so we will put you together with someone else. Okay. Gina, good to hear about the Sedona workshop. I'm a resident of Sedona too. Good, very good. My guests are from Sedona. They're staying with me. And said hello to you at the Illuminate. Oh, you did? Yes, Gina, at the Illuminate Film Festival here. Oh, so you know that Dana and Chrisana, who won the award for best film, those are the people that stay in my house. They're filming the next documentary about horses and humans, and they're staying here filming. So they're doing their filming. So I invite them here. My husband and I also did your retreat in Cancun a few years. Oh, great. Okay. Oh, great, sweetheart. I'll see you in March. Perfect. Great, Gina. Great. Maybe go to the cruise too. That'd be nice. Very nice. Very good. Oh, here's Vicky. Okay. Oh, Vicky, very good. Oh, very good. Ryan is behind the scenes here, because Renee's in Holland right now. And Ryan stepped in. So thanks, Ryan. I'm just going to pick Vicky. Very good, Ryan. You're very psychic. I've signed up for pretty much all of your courses. Good for you, Vicky. I hope it's changed your life. Trying to stay busy in between work. It's a tough life without my husband. Very difficult, but I'm trying. So stay right there. I'm going to stay, keep that up. Let's just talk about that for a second. Trying to stay busy in between work. It's a tough life without my husband. Okay. Okay. Number one, it's doing something for yourself, which is going to maybe sometimes the first time you do things for yourself. And I'm sure your husband is guiding you. That's the most important. And there's always a bigger perspective to all of this. And the universe comes together. They really bring together. They come together and for your highest good. They're always looking out for you, your husband, your guides, your other loved ones. You're not doing this alone. You're doing it with help. We all do it with help. It really is true. And if the cruise, by the way, you'll find who your helpers are and how to connect right with them and know the signs of the energies when they're with you. But you're not doing it alone. You should be take time to be with yourself, Vicky, and know that you've been through a lot here with the loss of a husband. It's a lot, and be kind to yourself. Have an open heart. Be compassionate with yourself. It's really, really important, and you're doing it. You've made it this far. You'll be okay. Just take time and breathe. Don't forget just to breathe, everybody. Okay, thanks, Vicky. Diane, hi, Diane. Do you have a course? Yes, if you go to, I do have an animal course on my JDP School of Mystical Arts. But before you do that, you can look that up if you'd like to. But I would suggest you go to my website, vanprog.com, and look under practitioners because there's an animal communicator. And I just called her about an hour ago, which is funny, Samantha Curry. She helps very much that way. She works with anxiety in animals. She did the courses with me. She's just incredible. She went down to San Diego Zoo once because they were having trouble with elephants there. They were very depressed and they didn't know why. And she went down to San Diego Zoo and she walked into their, I guess, a pen. And she said to the zookeeper, did you lose a calf recently? And the zookeeper said, yes. And she asked if he had any remains of that calf. So yes, we have skeletal remains of the head. She's going to have it. She put it in the center of this ring or this area, this field. And one by one, they backed up. They left at the side of the field. And one by one, each elephant came separately, broke part of the skull, went to a different part of the field and buried part of that skull. And they were fine after that. So they had to, each one had to grieve in their own way because they never were able to grieve. And she was able to tell them that. And she's worked with dolphins, kitty cats. She worked with me with my dog Maisie before Maisie passed. She knew what was going on with her, and she was 100% on. And she helped me after she passed. And she also worked with the food, the diet. She's very good. So Samantha Curry, I suggest her. Okay, thanks, sweetheart. Hi, Barbara. Over the past few months, I've felt something big is coming. Something's coming. I don't know what it is, but it's going to be great. Right. I feel something good coming too. I don't know. Same thing. I just found out I have a different father than my siblings. Wow. Isn't that a trip? Wow. I still feel like more is coming. Could be. Any thoughts on this? Thank you kindly. What do you think, Barbara? What do you think? There's got to be more coming. I think that's fun. So I think it goes back to life, every single day life. So life is the art of discovery. We discover something new every single day. That's why it's exciting. And when we don't put a judgment on it, we just see it for what it is. It's just an experience that happens. And in this human space, when we have an open heart and we don't judge things, when we have pure intention, I think, and an open heart, we kind of have with the intention a compass. It gives us a compass. It gives us a way to go with our intention. So if our intention is I'm going to have an open heart and I'm going to accept these experiences for what they are, but don't judge them. Just realize that I'm in the human form. And in human form, there are obstructions, there are obstacles, but it'll help me get to my goal, my intention. So your intention is your goal. So whether that's to be happiest, loving person I can be, or whatever it might be, just keep that in mind. And it's part of life is these obstacles. But this is interesting, the art of discovery. I had a friend of mine whose brother, 82-year-old brother, fostered a daughter that no one knew about. And I said to my friend, well, why don't you have the reunion at my house? So we did. And it changed everyone's life. And that girl was very happy. And things happen for a reason. I think it's really important that we don't stay in boxes and we don't stay in judgment. You always remember judgment is fear-based. But congratulations. I think it's exciting, Barbara. You're in for some good times. Good for you. Carrie, hi, Carrie. How are you? I'm being pulled in different directions right now with my life, and honestly, I'm so lost. Well, number one, Carrie, you got to stop, and you got to take the time to breathe. right? Just breathe and be still. So you got to be in that stillness of yourself. Commit yourself to 15 minutes a day to sit in the quiet, to sit in the stillness. And just sitting with the breath for 15 minutes, do it. You're worth it. You are worth it. We do things for people that we love, that we go out of our way many times for people, make people feel better. What about ourselves? We need to do for ourselves as well. So you need to stop and breathe, take time and commit yourself to be with yourself. That's the first thing, because then you don't get caught up in that fray, the frenetic energy of some of the things going on, because that's just you're in your head. You have to get into that heart space, and that can happen, but you've got to get out of that head space. Okay. Um, there's a lot going on in the universe right now. A lot of things going on planetarily. Kelly will speak about that tonight on our show, Both Sides Now, which I'll mention in a second. But the most important thing, Carrie, is there's a big thing, a big world out there, many layers and many levels and dimensions, if you will. But you are important. The core of your being, your heart, is where you want to be. So take the time, and I'm just picking that up psychically for you, that you need to stop and stabilize and ground yourself. And remember, Carrie, you can't be everything to everyone. Can't do it. You first got to be with yourself, have a relationship with loving yourself, and then you can love others. But what other people think of you is none of your business. Take the time. Do not be in different directions right now. You shouldn't be in different directions, one thing at a time. There's a lovely Buddhist saying, which I use a lot, which is, you can't push the river. You just got to let it flow. And that's very, very true. You can't control things. You can't control the people. You can't control what happens. What's going to happen is going to happen. But what you can control is how you respond to the experience. Okay, sweetheart? Good luck on that. Okay. Gina. Hi, Gina. Hello from Colorado. Hello. Met me in Denver, and I received a lot of healing there. Oh, great. I'm very glad. How do I deal with a mother who may be a narcissist? She is 80, and I feel bad for her, but try to have my boundaries. Um, that's not a question really for me. It's more of a Kelly White question. Kelly White, who does Both Sides Now and Beyond, she's doing a special on narcissism. So on our show tonight, you should watch it. She'll talk about that. And I wouldn't feel right to answer that because I don't know enough about it. Thank you. June. Hi, June. I live in rural Montana. Good for you. How do I go about finding a group to work on trans mediumship? Well, there's Tony Stockwell. He's a medium in England, and he does online trance workshops. And a lot of my students, I recommend a lot of my students to him. He's the best trance medium that I know that I've been around that teaches. So look up Tony Stockwell, and you'll find it. And I bet there's a lot more people in Montana than you think. Hi, Nina. Nina, very pretty. When I completed Mediumship 1, when will you launch Mediumship 2? I love you. Love you too, Nina. Thinking about it this March or April, Mediumship 2. So, it's a lot because there's a lot more involved with it. So, spring, end of spring, probably. But it's coming. Thanks, Nina. Catherine. Hi, Catherine. I am very connected to my guides. Good. I have always had a little red fox spirit animals. Is it possible for spirit animals guides to change and new ones pop in? I said I have an owl. Very much so. Your guides change as you change. So there are certain guides to bring you to a certain level, and then that level is reached. So you'll have someone new come in to bring it to another level. That happens. Tonight, thank you very much. That's exactly what tonight's show is about. So tonight on Both Sides Now and Beyond, which is right here on Facebook and YouTube and so forth, Kelly White, a lovely medium and therapist, and I will talk about your spirit guides. How do you know who your spirit guides are? Be aware of them. I'm actually going to do an exercise for you to connect with your guides. I've written a book on it. I have a card deck on it. So tonight's show is all about your guides. So please check that out tonight at 6 o'clock Pacific time, right here. So we'll talk all about guides. Everything you want to know about your guides are going to be on tonight. Louise. Hi, Louise. Hi, James. Have you ever thought about writing a book about your amazing life? I've read all your books and admire you a lot. Well, I have written a book about my amazing life, I think. It's called Talking to Heaven. But I'm going to be doing a documentary about my life. So that's going to be happening. We did the Ted Danson movie years ago. So it's time to do a documentary. So the ladies are here at my house. We're talking about that too, them doing a documentary on my life story, because it has been pretty amazing. And things that you probably don't know about me, which is even more amazing, that all this fits into one package. So it's in the works. Thanks, Louise. I love Lillian. Hello, beautiful people. Thank you, James. You're very welcome. Look forward to your new classes. Yes, it's going to be incredible. Will you have any business coaching in your classes? I feel like many entrepreneurs are teaming. There's a man on my which you should might check out, Jeff Adler. He's under my resources, and that's what he does. He does business coaching. He's business coaching and life coaching. So it's putting those practices in my course, the life certification course, which is being registered right now, is being registered. You register for. He took that, but he also works for a big Fortune 500 company, and he helps people with coaching in life and strategies and so forth. So he might be good. I'm not an expertise in business, so I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that. But the life course is pretty great, and I would say it's an excellent foundation for before you start any business course. Yeah, so check that out. Mirjan, okay. Does humor exist between spirits, or are they always serious? No, 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 no. Oh God, wouldn't that be boring? Wouldn't that be horrible? That would be hell. Your personality remains the same. Your personality, and in some ways, it expands even more. And I've brought through many, many funny, funny spirits. No, it's always good to have a good sense of humor, especially here on the earth when you need one. I'm never too serious, and it's the same exact when you leave this meat suit. You're the same, so you don't lose that sense of humor. Annie, hi Annie. Is there a signification to this swirling colors I see with my eyes closed? Usually blue, yellow, and green. It could be clairvoyance for you. It could be. I don't know. I have to meet with you. It could be that. Um, it could be. It could be an opening of clairvoyance for you. It's different for every person. So that's the only way I could say that. Or it could be something going on with your eyesight. I don't know, but it's a possibility. I put it that way as a possibility. Hi, Heather. Just wanted to say I could always communicate with animals. It's so funny. This has come up so much today. Since mediumship 2, it really has opened up. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? So mediumship 2 opens up the mind. So mediumship 1 as well, opening up that aspect of the mind. So much up my heart as far as miles to these animals. So grateful. So it's very interesting. I was just listening to Jack Cornfield, who's a Buddhist. Writes is a philosopher, and he is a spiritual teacher, and he just talked about this 12 principles of healing, and one of them, which I loved, was when you come from an open heart and you change that vibration, that frequency, all around you, all the fields are open, and all the animals pick that up. And one example is even you go to the zoo and the elephants bow before you, and the monkeys bow before, because they feel that oneness, that loving energy. So they're very, very aware, of course, the animal beings, so much more aware than humans, I believe. I have a connection with my doggy Pearl, very strong telepathic connection, and I did with my other dog Maisie. So yes, it's very much that way. And when you open up that part of the mind, it's so funny because Heather, we did mediumship 2, and then all those exercises, mediumship 1 and 2, others, all my development exercises, and the more you realize that there's areas of the mind that are so expansive, you can open those spaces up. You then realize there are more spaces to open up because there's no limits. We place limits on ourselves. We're limitless. So there's more world within world within worlds to explore and to see. Again, I call it the art of discovery. And that's really what it is. And as I'm doing this, teaching this meditation course and filming it right now, it keeps on coming up in my head. It's the art of discovery. It's uncovering. It's going within. It's being aware of your soul self, not the human self, but what's in the soul. What generates this animation, this animated self? It's that soul, that life force, that creative force, the God self. So, and we have responsibility, a moral responsibility, I think, to live in joy and to bring joy into this life and to really tune into who we truly are, not who we think we are, but who we are. I think that's what our obligation is here. And I think that when people pass to the other side of life, they look back and they feel regret for not taking the time and the commitment to understand who they truly are. So that's my little words of advice for everyone that's looking at this, because it's very true. And you've heard me say it. So when time comes, you're on the other side. I don't want to hear saying, if only I knew, because you know now. Okay. Susan, hi, Susan. I seen a woman, a spirit in my home a few years ago. Okay. She was transparent and light all around her. I've never seen anything like this before. Why did that happen? Susan, I don't know why that happened. Obviously, you had a mediumistic moment, which we all have, And so it depends really on what's going on at the time when that happened. So was an emotional charge? Usually some emotional charge that's going on around that house or around you, because they use your energy to come in. So, and it also could be when you're in a space of low resistance. Yeah. And low resistance, you're open to these experiences. They're easier for you to see, feel, and hear. So it could have been that as well. And you probably could be very much a medium if you wanted to sit and develop it. Okay. Kayla. Hi, Kayla. How can we heal from past lives that still affect us today? Well, on the school, I have a past life regression course. And you're not your past. I mean, we tend to bring them, but remember that you're learning something for us. So if you have stuff from your past, um, what is it that affects you? Is it a trauma? So a past life regression is really good because you realize you're a soul having an experience, and you're not the trauma. That was just an experience that your soul had to learn from. So if you change the perspective of that and see for what it is that you're a soul, and you're really there's so much more. There's this tiny little speck of who we are, and that's not going to identify. That's not going to identify who you are. That was an experience you've had in lifetime, and many times we have these experiences to unfold a part of who we are, right? But and it's normal, but they shouldn't control your life. They shouldn't. You shouldn't allow it. You should break away from those patterns of the same over and over again. And we got to be careful because patterns then become our safety barrier, and we don't want that, right? We want to step out in that and not be fearful to experience new things. So you can look at that past experience and say what it is. What was the trauma associated with it? What did I learn from that trauma? That's not who I am. It's what I experienced. It's once you step back and have the perspective, it certainly can have an effect on that, not repeating itself or seeing it for what it is. Now, for instance, when I was young, I was very afraid of water. Couldn't swim till I was 11 years old. I was afraid to drown. And I had a dream once, and I realized I was a galley slave, and I died in a boat or a merchant ship and I was chained with a bunch of people around with in the bottom of the boat, and we were killed with this in the water. Also, I just talked with some people recently about horses. And I said, "Oh, I'm very afraid of horses because I think I was trampled in a past life." And those memories are soul memories. They still are, they're an awareness there, and they could affect us to a degree. They should not stop our lives, but we can be aware of them. Hey, Mary. Um, you were on 7 of my cruises. Oh, yes, you were. I see your face. Yes, you were. Very good to see you, Mary. Yes, I just want others to know that if they are thinking about it, don't hesitate. You're right. Your workshops are amazing. Thank you, Mary. Really appreciate it. 7 of them. Very good. Maybe you'll go to Alaska again. Thank you. It's so hard for me to tell people, it's going to change your life because it really is. But I'm not a good salesman. I mean, just I don't want to force this. But I have to let people know this is existing. And the other thing is, if you know people that it could help, please tell your friends and other friends of yours about this because a lot of people end up finding out about it after it's done and they get really upset. So please pass the word on to at least 1 or 2 people that you know of. And vampire.com is where they can register. They'll bring the link. Hi, Ty. Hello, James. Are spirits and the spiritism movement real or to be moved away from? Spiritists, I'm sorry, spiritists. Okay, it's a good question, Ty. Very good. So spiritists and spiritism, ism is always, isms. I love isms. Not really. So that began from a French priest and went from a Catholic, he was a Catholic priest, went to Brazil and started and worked with spiritualism, which is a belief in communication with spirit. And what he did was he put together, merged Catholicism, a religion of Catholicism, with spiritualism, and it came out to Spiritism. And Allan Kardec was a name, so a lot of people call it Kardecians. And I personally, don't care for it. I like the idea of spirit communication, of course, but I don't like when there's rules about, religious rules, like you can't eat meat on this day or drink alcohol here, or it's just some weird stuff. I think it's too rigid. Personally, for me, it's way too rigid, and I don't belong to any organization that would have me as a member. And I think in anything, there's always aspects and elements of the truth, and there's bits of wisdom there, but also you got to consider what it's in. So there's bits of wisdom. Again, I have this conversation with a friend yesterday that there are spiritual teachers out there, and there are some that are incredibly great wisdom, but then the human part, you got to separate the human part from the spiritual part. So in that sense, with spiritism, that some of the tenets of it, Some are pretty good if they're open-minded, but when they get very rigid and there are rules, it's not right for me because spirit doesn't have rules like that. Number one rule is love. Not man. Man makes all these rules up. The human beings ascribe to all of these rules to control people. I don't believe in that. So anyway, that's the way it is. That's what I think. Thank you, Ty. Belinda, if we come from a toxic family, who doesn't? How do I become okay with releasing my bond with them in the most loving way possible? Well, Belinda, the number one thing I would say is number one, getting to know who you are and who you are and what you need in your life to support you and what doesn't support you. And if there are people around you, whether it's family or friends that are toxic who don't support you and take your power away and bring you down, you need to release them. You need to say bye bye. I'm no longer accepting of that. Um, you have to have that sense of self and courage to do that because people will take that from you. And it's really a matter of believing in yourself, loving yourself to a point, like no one else could. What other people think of you is none of your business. So it's having that relationship with self. Self is really important. And you don't want to waste the time in your life giving it to other people. The toxic family, we all have toxicity in a family, and it's dysfunction. And if we want to say we don't want that in life, we have to say bye-bye. We have to release it. So bye-bye. I've released a lot of my friends who I thought my friends, but they became very toxic or wanted something, and family members too. Say bye-bye, but that's unacceptable to me. And that's it. That's really good. Love yourself enough to say no. The best thing you'll ever do. Good luck, honey. Hi, Bruce. Good to see you. Hi, James. We have a spirit in our guest house that is not friendly. Oh, that's not nice, isn't it? It will grab our feet at night and sometimes pull the sheets off of us. The house has been blessed. What do you suggest? Wow. That's very rare, but there's a lady by the name of Mary Ann Winkowski, and she's in Ohio. I worked with her on the show Ghost Whisperer, and she works with those types of spirits that are a nuisance, and they cause havoc. It doesn't happen often, but she would be the person I'd recommend you. Mary Ann Winkowski, you could find her, and she does those level of spirit. Thank God there aren't many of them that are like that. And unfinished business or something going on there. But yeah, you can find her. She'll help you, Bruce. Hi, Christy. How can I get spirit to hang out a little longer? I get really quick clairaudient messages, but they are one word and fast and then gone. So let me rephrase that, Christy. How can I get you to sit in the quiet longer? Because if you sit in the quiet, you're creating a space that you allow them to come close to you, and that you open up that space that you allow, and yet you're patient enough so they can make that connection with you in a sustained way. But if you go quick and you don't take the time to sit in that quiet and stillness, you're not going to get a solid, concise message. But you have to sit in development in that quiet and let them merge with you. So why aren't you taking the time to do that? Is really the way the question should be, right? Yeah. So again, I'm answering your question. Sitting in the JDP School of Mystical Arts Mediumship 1 would help you greatly. It's a process. You are living in a very, very fast society right now with social media. It's crazy and too hectic, I think. But you have to take that time and commit yourself to sitting in the quiet, sitting really in the stillness of your being and letting yourself evolve, not doing it quick. There's no quick fix. And you can't do a spiritual bypass. Not allowed. Hi, Laura. Good to see you again. I have a mediumship guide that comes forward when I do mediumship. That makes very much sense. So do I. Yes, he's an Aboriginal Clyde guide. Aboriginal Clyde guide. Do you think he's from a past life? Hard to say, Laura. Could be, maybe not. It's hard to say. Could be. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. So I had a Zulu warrior as my gatekeeper once when I first started, who's changed now. But yeah, definitely we'll see you tonight, Laura. We'll talk more about it. Hi, Barbara. I had two lost dogs appear to me this summer at 2 weeks apart. I was able to find the owners of both. Wow, that's great. I instantly felt as though they were messages for me. I felt comforted and happy. Great. What type of message do you think that this was? I don't know idea. Unfortunately, 2 months later, I experienced a tremendous loss of a relative who was like a father to me. It was a very tragic way. It could be related. I don't think so. It seems very different. I don't know what the two dogs appeared to this summer. I was able to find the owners of both. So you're very psychic, right? So you receive that message. Well, messages for you. Well, it could be also that you're just very open to receiving messages if you take the time to develop. That should be it, made you happy and comforted. So that could have helped you with the passing of someone, with your father or your uh, relative who was like your father to you. That could have helped you with that, realize that there was no death, and you should be happy for that person. It could be that. But I don't think connected. Okay, Nikki. Hi, Nikki. Hi, James Brooks, psychic medium with a disability. Jim. You're a psychic medium with a disability. You feel there's a connection between psychic awareness and disability. Do I feel there's a connection? No, I do not. I do not personally feel there isn't. There was a man named Peter Herkos who was very psychic. What happened with him was he was a painter, house painter, and he fell off a ladder and hit his head, and it opened up the part of the brain. That's what the cortex, part of the brain that psychic center. Yes, in that respect, that was activated. So it depends on what the disability is, but generally, I don't think it has anything to do with it. I could be totally wrong. But hi, Lori and Faith. Hello, James Love. Thank you. Been in a state of grace and peace for a while. Very good. After much trauma last year. Very good. I'm glad to hear it. And it's interesting because you don't know what that state of grace and peace is if you haven't been in the trauma, right? Light and dark. It's a balance. In a good place. Got hit with a dis-ease, flare in intestines out of nowhere. Pain beyond words, insight. Oh boy, I wouldn't know, Lori. Um, I would really just think of just going to a safe space in your mind, closing down or opening up, if you will, and going into the intestines, and you become like oh, you're visiting the inside. Remember the movie Fantastic Voyage? About they inject like this rocket ship and these scientists go into the body. It's kind of like that. There's an exercise you can do where you become the intestines, and you become the intestines, right? And you ask the intestines, what's my service? Why am I? What is the reason I have this dis-ease right here? What's the inflammation? What is this about? What am I supposed to teach the body? What is a human supposed to know about this? What am I teaching them? You can do it from that point of view, and that seems to work. And do tend to get some insights when you become that disease, you become that inflammation, and you'll quickly know. Well, it'll tell you why it's in that body. Your body will always tell you what's going on if you listen to it. The humans get out of their way, though. All right, Michelle. Hi, James. I have a lot of spirits around. I think we all do, actually. They don't respect boundaries. Any advice to this? You're very new to this. That's why. Yes, Rochelle, mediumship one in my school. Best thing you can do. You learn ways to own your own space and be respected, and the responsibility it takes with the spirits around you. So that's you got to do the work. So look up that course, Mediumship One. That'll help. Sharon Donnelly. Hi, James. I woke up and saw a dark image of something hovering over me, and I screamed, "Ah!" It disappeared. Would that be? It was so scary. Sharon, I don't know. I wasn't there. I have no idea what that could be. It could be part of your dreams. It could be, I don't know. The human immediately goes to it's evil, it's an evil spirit. I don't believe that. I don't think anything's evil. I don't. So it could be part of your own self that maybe some anxiety that you've had in that dream state. It's hard to say. I wouldn't give it that much energy though. Lena, hi, just I want to know how I open my mind and heart. How do I know it's open? My anxiety is severe. Okay, if you get into an anxiety, well, whether you go through meditation, whether you take walks in nature, whether you get a hobby, volunteer work, push yourself into doing something else, if you come to a space of rest or passive or meditative state, there's no place for anxiety because the two can't coexist. So it's putting yourself into that space of restfulness, meditation, insight, mindfulness. And yoga is a good way as well. Tai Chi, putting yourself in those spaces, that'll help with your anxiety. That really will. So otherwise, you'll have the anxiety, the loop keeps on returning. So you've got to get into that state of relaxation and a meditative state, if I can say it that way. Uh, I feel I'm not enough for anyone. I want to be at peace. I want to know how I could not feel so alone when I have family around me. Again, Lena, you have to take the time to learn who you are. You got to know yourself, and you got to honor who you are. You got to love yourself. Finding ways of loving yourself. Go again. I'm repeating myself again, but there are courses there in my school about loving yourself, and you should go and check them out because they work. You got to take the time necessary to have a relationship with yourself. Go in. Don't look outside yourself for a relationship. Why would you do that? First, go here. This is who you're with all the time. So this is where you should be. Okay, my 4-year-old cat died suddenly over the weekend from an undiagnosed asthma attack. A few days before death, I had a dream I adopted a new kitten. Was this a psychic dream? Sounds like a psychic dream, very much so. Very much so. There's so much going on in the spiritual world, and they pull strings all the time, and we're not always aware of them. But yes, it sounds like that, very much so. Before I go on, so in closing, I just want to say, if there's any questions about the Alaska cruise you might have, now is the time to ask. I'm gonna just go back to that. So if you have any questions you want to know about Alaska or the life certification course, now is the time you can ask that, and Ryan will pick up the questions you ask. Yes, Michelle, Leadership 2 will be coming this year. Yes, late spring. Okay. Um, okay, no questions. There we go. Manal says, I don't think purgatory is real. Very true, it is not real. Um, No such thing as purgatory. I think hell is here on earth. There are many levels to the spiritual world, but nothing like the religious people teach us. There are bits and pieces of truth, but not all the truth. Your heaven is created by what you do here on the earth. So you create that, you're simultaneously creating another world on the other side, another level for you to go to by the good works you do here, by the joy. Again, we have a moral responsibility to live in joy here. We really do. It's important. So it's important to have an open heart. It's important not to judge other people because you don't know what their background is. You really shouldn't. Because if you did something that no one understood, they judge you, you would just say, well, you don't understand it. So really have an open heart and be mindful and don't let people take away your power. It's not good. But, we don't want to repeat old patterns. We want to live in the freedom of love. And that's what it's about. And a loving heart, a working, loving heart. Okay. So please join us tonight. Both sides now and beyond at 6 o'clock. We'll talk all about guides. And I'm doing a guide exercise. And look forward to seeing something on Alaska and also in my life coach course. So I'm going to close now and we'll see you tonight. Okay. Thank you, everybody. God bless.